A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mez? Yep, that's just what he said you'd say, Ifan. Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Laveri wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ifan smirks and shakes his head.
I'll spare you the tall tales we usually tell. When a new cub joins up with the lone wolves, we interrogate them. Then, a very complex equation decides their new moniker. I don't remember all the questions, but I remember enough to give you a lone wolf name if you want one. So tell me this. Which of these scenes attracts you the most?
Ifan nods and raises his eyebrows, a slight smile brightening his face.
And then, target in sight? What's your preferred execution method? Right.
Ifan scrawls something on a little piece of paper and hands it to you. On the page in thick black letters is written Silver Claw.
And of course, that won't do. I'll call you, Shadow Raven for the moment. Let's track down my old pack and find out who's behind the contracts to kill Godwoken. Can't hurt to know who wants us dead.
Ifan smiles and salutes at you.
Come on, let's keep moving. Well, I think I should focus on getting this demon out of my head. And of course, I think you should help me. And if we pick up a few new source tricks along the way, so be it. What's up, Chief? What, this old gaggle of weirdos? Oh, she's all right. A lot of bark, but I think she really cares about what we're doing. Better that than a sweetheart who'd sooner watch you walk off a cliff than shout, "Look out!" I don't know about home, but I do sort of miss the gang I travel with now and then. Crawler, Madcap, Papa Joris for sure. Musicians mostly. We all had our own stories, our own troubles, but when we were together and the music was with us, it was like none of that mattered at all. When you have people like that around you, you know, a family, even rain feels like sunshine.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself in some place even more dismal than the last. Still, at least this is an interesting variation on dismal. How many times must I tell you? I have business in the Black Pits. We should head to the excavation site there. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe. A barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation. Do you know, I never thought to ask. Between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. But the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the Veil, I brought the issue up with others. The Seven Lords. Beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and, well, my sentence was carried out. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows what that might have been? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain. But I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes.
The skeleton stands quietly for a moment.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king, my family. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing. But if that king should turn into a despot, if he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities, with a perfect understanding of the universe. It would have solved all of our problems. Indeed you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoky hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. They came rather low in my life, alas. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention, and my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent neglected before, well, before whatever happened, happened. Indeed, so I gathered from your earlier prattling. I also met someone. Oh, nothing is wrong. Simply unexpected. The person I met was without doubt a god. At least by your standards. When I wore flesh, I knew her as the Lady Armadia. She was one of the 7 lords that served our king. Oh no, they're quite gone. The 7 seem to be all that remains. And they... well, I'm not sure what they are. Not quite gods, but not quite eternals. No, they are something else entirely. Naturally, they acted as any lords would. They bowed to their king and sneered at their lessers. And there was an awful lot of sneering, even back then. One can only imagine how much there is now. Oh, what do you want from me? I'm not here to gossip and titter about my lords. If you wish to know what they were like, you need only to look at yourselves. Each of the races were crafted not just in the image of their gods, but in their temperament too. Vrogir was large and strong as his orcs. Zantezza quick and witty as an imp. And Rallic prone to bouts of fighting and boasting, much like every human I've ever encountered. You were crafted as an act of ego. But one can hardly hold that against the creatures. In truth, the lords never troubled themselves with too much imagination. Yes, well, if you are quite finished wasting my time, I believe we have some business to get on with. What would I do? Oh, dear heart, it is not a question of would. It is a question of what will I do. It is only fitting, after all. You worshipped the Eternals as gods. Why not follow one as divine? Yes. And how is that working out, I wonder? Perhaps if your precious Lucian had been a little less mortal, you would still have a divine, and the Voidwoken would not be trying to chew on my bones. Honestly, you turn your back for just a few millennia, and the world goes to stink. The Lady Armadia has laid out the plight of the world, and begged me to help fix it. It is a grave responsibility, but one that I gladly accept.
Did you hear? The eggs are gone. Gone for good. No one to keep them warm. No one to keep them safe. Not my eggs, our eggs. All the family, all the eggs, every last one. Big Marge, sir. Big Marge will tell you everything.
Eggy, Eggy, gone, gone. Baby Eggy gone for good. Help! 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 Marge! Marge knows. Marge saw. Ask Marge.
I saw. They were stolen. The babies, the eggs. Something took them. Horror! Thief! Horrible thief! It came in the night. It took the eggs. It scrambled away fast, fast, fast. Big! Big as a cow. Big as a house. And many, many legs. Too many. If I showed you, you could bring them back. You could bring them back. Map. Show me your map.
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up and picks a small hole in your map.
That's where they are. I went after my babies. I saw where they went. But they've changed so much. Much. Bring them back.
Why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, two lizards, One, in a Magister uniform, hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Step away from the prisoner, elf!
Do you even know what they've done?
That's internal order business. You do well to leave it alone. Let's just say Zeus and there was of help to sorcerers, and leave it at that. She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker, and she's a bloody traitor.
Come now. Is this really necessary?
She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her, at least as far as you can trust a lizard. To repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip. You're going to... what, now?
Why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. Try it and we'll tear your head off. Now move along.
Come now. Is this really necessary?
No gawkers, please. On your way.
I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me! You poor dweeb. Do you even know what they've done to you?
not kill you. Release me.
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows,
Step away from the prisoner, elf! That's internal order business. You'd do well to leave it alone. Let's just say Zeus and there. She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. What have you heard? Have you heard that they killed our beloved Alexander? She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her. At least as far as you can trust a lizard. To repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them. And you're going to... What, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, Godwoken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if your master had just ordered you to fly. Whatever fits your purpose, my dear.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Malady is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope. Because along with torture and interrogation, the Magisters found space in their schedules to purge me, that's why. They spent quite some time at it too. Apparently I was a rich vein to be mined, and now I hang powerless as any butchered carcass. They stopped the process just as the last of my power drained away. Just enough to rob me of my strength, but not enough to leave me a hollow sack of flesh and scales. I had hoped they simply wished to preserve my charm and beauty, but no. It seemed Dallas had ordered that I be held until she could do the deed herself. To give it the personal touch, I imagine. Now that you have had that that delightful little nugget of gossip, perhaps you could do your damn job and let me loose?
The lizard grimaces, shifting awkwardly as she dangles.
I am in intense pain, Evergreen. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably stupid. Be quick about it before the next Magister patrol realizes something is amiss. God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a house to secure. Meet me at my home in Driftwood. We have much to discuss.
you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. The reddish-coloured flesh beasts round here string your kind up by their hands. Well, I'm a rat, and you're some kind of, curious, large-style flesh beast. Never the twain shall mix. Thus spaketh the reddish, large-style flesh beasts. Just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering, large-style flesh beast of her own. No thank you.
The rat hisses at you with sibilant malevolence.
Carry on then, stink beast. Don't let little old me distract you from your very important stink business.
There's one unaffected thing in the window. Perhaps there's still a chance.
For me.
To none.
There you are, little egg.
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly. She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
You helped us. You brought the baby back. Ah!
Brood an eggy baby egg.
Egg! Egg! Peeper! You!
Ah, yes. One of Mari's heroes passes. Come on through, but mind the smell.
You ever think about running off, like Barmby and Sandy?
Welcome to Driftwood.
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. One of Mari's heroes passes. Come on through, but mind the smell.
The silent monk's stitched lips are the colour of sea ice. The expected happens. Nothing. The silent monk, like every other, has nothing to say.
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off, like Barmby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off, like Barmby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnaby and Sandy?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnby and Sam?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnby and Sam?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnby and Sam did?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnby and Sam did?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah, yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong. Ah, yes. One of Mary's heroes passes. Come on.
You ever think about running off? Like Barnby and Sam did?
Hell no.
Yeah, yeah.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
Boring.
Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be god-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Quite. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magistrate to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right.
The Meister's back. doesn't feel...
I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your talent for following signals. Push the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.